Family, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Make some noise for your boy and show young college Cathie Wood some love by pumping the likes to help pump the stream. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis and quoting Max Kaiser, the Bitcoin ETFs are a gateway drug to self-custody. Preach. Also, BlackRock Bitcoin ETF now holds over 25,000 BTC, worth over $1 billion. Would it take them 1 week? Also in today's show, spot Bitcoin ETFs on the 1 week Bitcoin sell-offs, but ETFs reap success. I'll be breaking down the latest statistics to how the ETFs are performing. We'll also be discussing Bitwise spot Bitcoin ETF in the top 5% of the largest ETFs launched in 2023. We'll also be discussing the latest with Bitcoin mining sustainability, energy usage hitting an all-time high of 54.5%. So when you accept in Bitcoin for Tesla cars, Elon, come on, stick to your word, big dog. Also in today's show, I'll be sharing 3 epic Bitcoin predictions shared by the Stock the Flow founder, Plan B. We'll also be discussing why Cathie Wood placed 25% of her wealth in Bitcoin. Also be sharing her bold bet unveiled of Bitcoin hitting 1.5 million per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. Welcome, crypto fam. What it do? Howdy. Let's go. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. Let me know if the stream is loud, clear, and smooth. First and foremost, family. Shout out to May 5 Star. Good to see you, family. I found the hat and you wouldn't believe where it was. Let me take a guess of where it was. I found it in the dark last night where I least expect it. Where was the hat, JV? You read my mind. I want you guys to guess first and we'll discuss it later. Best show on earth, says John. I appreciate that. Where was the hat? I know, it was a mystery and I found it. Hey, JV and Nipsey from New York, long freaking time. God Candle, let's go. Shout out Corona Free, what it do? What's going on with Bitcoin? Why are we dropping? Yo, oh my God, 41. I haven't even looked at the price action today. So stay tuned. We'll be doing some TNA. A little technical analysis for you. Behind his toilet, that went to spot, Bobby. Hey, JV, I was wondering if you never sell. Why are you in Puerto Rico? I'm in Puerto Rico because it's a beautiful Caribbean island. And you're right, I don't sell and I don't plan on selling. So I'm not here primarily for any tax advantages whatsoever, because zero capital gains tax when you don't sell Bitcoin, no matter where in the world you live. So let that sink in, family. I like to be here. I love the island. It's a beautiful place to be. It's close to Florida and it's a Caribbean paradise. I love the culture, love the people, and it's a great place to live. You got to check it out for yourself, family. Buy the dip. That's right. A great time to take advantage of these prices because it's not going to be at this price for much longer. You got to consider in 3 months, we're going to have a Bitcoin halving, and always after a halving, what happens? Bitcoin price goes parabolic, family. Yes, you already know. Shopping day, cheap BTC. You already know, Mario Sosa. Cheers to that. Leroy in the building. What it do, Leroy? Good to see you, family. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Much love, much respect. Yes, bring facts under your pillow. Wouldn't that be something? Yo, it was under my pillow the whole time. Found the hat on the boat before the tragic accident. Why not Cancun? I do have friends in Mexico. Mexico is another beautiful place to be. You know what I mean? There's a lot of beautiful places in the world, in all honesty. I can choose a half a dozen right now that I think are excellent places to live. So to each their own, family. You got to remember as well, I have my family here in Puerto Rico. My daughter is here in Puerto Rico. So you got to keep that in mind. Don't panic sell, says Brian. Of course not. You never lose what you don't sell. So if you bought Bitcoin at a certain price and it starts dropping, you're like, oh my God, Jim Cramer says we haven't bottomed out yet. Well, the good news, as long as you don't sell, you really don't lose nothing. So you got to keep that in mind as well. And here's what Michael Saylor would have to say.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one.
Oh, I'm sorry I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Tell him, Bitcoin. Shido on fire, says Max. Gray hat is back. Yeah, man, and it's perfect because it matches the jersey. The orange just wouldn't look right. There's the mini JVs out there. Cheers. Shout out Dirty Bird. What it do? You found the hat between the washer and the dryer? That's a good guess. But, yeah, no, wasn't there. Hey, has anyone seen the docket? Oh, what docket you're referring to, David? Federal Reserve System docket. Oh, 1670. Federal Reserve actions to support interbank settlement of faster payments. Interesting. Did they list any cryptocurrencies with that, like XRP, which we know should be the bridge currency for the CBDCs? Let me know. Nipsey was hiding it from you. Nah, can't blame Nipsey. It's my own ignorance. Morning, fam. Good to see you, Will. What it do, family? Pump the likes, pump the stream, and let's celebrate young college Cathie Wood. I had to go look at the throwbacks, and I found that one, and I think you gentlemen will enjoy it. You guys can never get enough of Cathie, I see. Car, the hat was in the car. No, ironically enough, it was in this room of the office in a certain location. It was hidden in plain sight. So it was actually in this office. Barack Monfils Evangelista just gifted 5 memberships to the channel. So congratulations, Rambosito, Leonardo, Robert Rossiter, and David Parkenti, as well as Summer Sunrise. You've all been blessed with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. So please show Barack some love for hooking you guys up. We have the most incredible family, and I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Did your daughter have your hat? No, she didn't have it. That's a good guess. I'll see her tomorrow, so I'm glad you brought that up. So tomorrow I'm picking her up from school. She'll spend the week with Papa. So tomorrow we're going to have an early show. It's not going to be this late at 3 p.m. It's more than likely going to be at 11 a.m., which is 12 p.m. my time in Puerto Rico. So tomorrow, be on the lookout for the pod a little extra early, family. I'm part of the family now. Cheers, fam. You got the badge next to your name. That means you're a member, and we appreciate your support. Too many blunts, and you misplaced your hat, JV. Shucks. It was on your head. Wouldn't that be something? Where's my hat? I can't find it. It's on your head, JV. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm from Greece. Welcome, Polis from Greece. I've been saying for 2 weeks, Bitcoin's headed into 36, but all the influencers just keep pumping Bitcoin to their followers, hurting them, says Lant. Big weight. Why is Bitcoin going in reverse when all the Bitcoin buying is going on, huh? Hanging on that coat rack, Jennifer. Cathie Wood took the hat. Be patient before buying. Davy Jones's locker. That's funny. You guys are hilarious. Classic Fibonacci retrace. Some analysts have been calling for 39 retrace before exploding. I think we covered Mikhail Pop's predictions yesterday, and that's pretty much what he said. He says we're going to correct around 39,000-40,000 and then explode. What do you guys think? From Dubai, the UAE, what it do? Josesh, good to see you as well. Shout out to the UAE. Where's my Muslim brothers at? Where's the Saudi oil money? When you entering Bitcoin? Qatar, where are you at? You got $500 billion sitting in that sovereign wealth fund. Come on now. Grayscale dumped 6,000 Bitcoin. That may explain the sell-off, family. Thank you, Nong, for sharing. Bitcoin correction is looking lovely. What are the support levels? Bitcoin to 39. Well, let's dive into the show instead of just doing the Q&A. So without further ado, family, if you're new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Also, be sure to pump the like to help pump the stream and hit the bell icon to turn on all notifications. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Today is pod episode number 1526. I'm your host, JV, and today is January 18th, 2024. Lot to cover as always. So let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Bitcoin's pulling back, maintaining just above 41,000 at the time of the live stream, down 3.5% for the day. We have Ether down 3.5%, maintaining above 2,400. BNB, one of the few altcoins in the top, actually in the green today, up 0.5%, while Solana's in the blood red. It did tap $100 yesterday, but correcting, down 8% on the day. We also have XRP and Cardano correcting, and in the red, they say when in doubt, JV, just zoom out. So here you go. Here's for the past month. Bitcoin still down 4% roughly. ETH up 10%, has been outpacing Bitcoin since their, what is it called? The dominance of ETH bottomed out at 14.9% last week, and now it's above 18%. We also have BNB and Solana crushing it, up over 25 and 28%. But checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at 1.62 trillion, currently on the decline, with 58 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance, same as yesterday, 49.7%, and Ether dominance is still maintaining above 18. 0.1%. And as I mentioned earlier, this dropped all the way down to a bottom of 14.9% last week and has been making a comeback. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we got Flare leading the pack, up 7%, followed by Conflux, up 7%, followed by Sia Coin, up almost 3%. Below that, BitGet token, BNB, True USD, and First Digital USD, which is ultimately altcoins because not much of any of these alts are actually in the green on the day. Virtually everything is correcting and in the red as the market continues tanking. And checking out the crypto bubbles, let's check out the daily. You can see massive losses. What do we got? Maybe four out of the top 100 coins actually in the green on the day. So virtually everything is in the red and correcting. And zooming out on the monthly, here we go. Most of the alts are still up on the month. I'd say roughly 60-40 green versus red. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index as we cover every day. We're currently back in greed with a 63. Yesterday was a 60. Last week we hit a high in extreme greed of 76. That was probably around the time we hit the 49,000 all-time high, not all-time high of all time, but for the past 2 years. And last month we were a 73 in greed. So there you have it, my crypto fam. How far down do you think we're likely to correct to? Holla at your boy. Let me know. I'm going to read some more comments. I recommend adding no guarantee it will go lower. Why miss out if it takes off? There you go, Brian. When in doubt, just zoom out. Shout out to Rob E. Kaiser, Sid Math. I can concur with that sentiment. Bitcoin dropping it low, lifting it high. Let's go. Shout out to Aaron Court. I appreciate you joining the Huddle Gang and becoming a member of the channel. It greatly supports us, and I greatly appreciate your support. So thank you, family. Shout out to our Huddle Gang. Gotta wait 30 days to buy the dip again after selling. Why is that? Is that some regulation on your exchange, or you just need time to get some more money? Crypto bubbles are the best. I love the visual perspective as well of the market. Thank you, Kaiser. And if there's any resources you recommend I share when I do my market watch, I can add in addition to the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, the Crypto Bubbles and CoinMarketCap and Coin360. I'm open to ideas, so let me know if I'm missing out on something very valuable people would love to see. Silver Top says, DCA your Bitcoin. That's what's up. Thanks, Bears. I'll take your Bitcoin at this price. Tell him, Corey. 40 to 39K, and then we'll spike in the last week of January. Do you still think we'll hit 50 Gs before the end of the month? Let me know. Jesus saves. That's what's up. Bitcoin is dumping. They sent 10,000 this morning. Be patient and buy. Oh, you're referring to GBTC dumping the Bitcoin. Yeah. That's interesting. Cathie Wood is the hottest boomer. Yes, on the thumbnail, that's college Cathie Wood you're looking at, gentlemen. Listen, if all you don't buy, don't sell, and be rich, says Mario. Question, when Bitcoin is gone, what will be the best Bitcoin, Cash or Litecoin?
Bitcoin. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset.
Market manipulation. They can't manipulate the halving. This is true. We are going to see a halving in April. No one can stop that or delay it, family. Brian, 50 Gs, hell yeah. Staking Myro, says JP. JV, are you able to give 10 memberships per month? Honestly, don't know. I have no clue how it works. So I don't know if there's limitations on what you can do. I doubt it because we've had people like... Zero, Casey, and there's actually more that have gifted 20 memberships in a single show. So I don't think there would be a limit on that. Shouldn't be, at least. Get sent out on January 30th, says Joe Trump. Did you see Trump says if he is elected, he's not going to allow CBDCs? So he claims. So he's getting a lot of the Bitcoiner support now. I don't know if you guys saw that. He did a speech the other day. Get sent out. They kept me on Coinbase to 10,000. Then I went to Kraken and bought the dip. Kudos to Kraken. Well done. 500 monthly salary in the Philippines, but still accumulating sats. Let's go. Shout out to Rafiq. I appreciate you out there. And when you see me doing this stuff, that's no sorcery. There's little gnats that fly, and I don't want them to fly in my mouth because the worst thing is when you're doing a podcast and a gnat flies down your throat. Annoying. So I know you can't see it because it's so little, but when I be doing this, I'm like, get away from my mouth, mofo, or I'm going to crush you. Yeah. Trump, I'll take a free membership, says JC Adams. If we'll reach 1 trillion, this channel is nuts. I love it. Cheers, 357. What up, Jacob? Good to see you, family. What's new, Jennifer? Stack, can't get funds moved fast enough to buy the dip. Word up, Robert. I want 38,000 Bitcoin and then I'll buy a lot more. Yep. DT will not allow CBDC. Talking about Trump. Next, so he claims. I don't know if they have the power to just say, we don't want it. They're just going to do what they're going to do regardless, in my opinion. But I think it's a great thing to say that, of course. He also said they were going to drain the swamp and put Hillary in prison. Hillary is still not in prison, nor is her husband. You know what I mean? And how many times was he on that island? You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, 420 in the room. Let's freaking go. Happy 420 to the crypto fam. Pump the likes to pump the stream and let's get this mofo started. I used to get those gnats riding my motorcycle. Oh, that's the worst. I know what you mean because sometimes they're everywhere and I take my e-bike out and you got to make sure your mouth's shut and sometimes they'll even get in your eyes. You get home and in the white side of your eyes, you see the little gnats. Annoying. If everyone buys, we won't go lower. Yeah, so everyone buy. There you go. And put it in self-storage. That's right. Cold Wallet. Take your crypto off the exchanges, family. Bitcoin is going to dip to close 35,000. Probably will sit here for a 3-week month. Then it's going to straight to the moon. South Carolina has legislation in the General Assembly to ban CBDCs within the state. That's good to hear. DeSantis also claims to be anti-CBDC and says he'll protect us from it for the people in Florida. There are more than 2 options, people. Wake up. Don't deprive yourself of an awesome candidate. RFK Jr., Team Kennedy on the tube. There you go. Because Vivek bowed out and gave his support to Trump. So, yeah, there's not a lot of options right now. You got Trump. Biden is not even making appearances at his press conferences. Is he too old to speak? I don't know what's going on with him. But it's ultimately Trump, Biden. RFK Jr. is running independent. I respect that. But Vivek's out of the race. What are the other options? Is DeSantis still in the race? I haven't seen much from him, so I don't know. That's why I asked. I don't really follow politics. Jim Cramer is definitely a true bear boy. Yeah, he put in another buy signal for us. Inverse Kramer. I shared it a little earlier on X. Grayscale and miners are dumping. That explains the dump. When is Jamie going to jail? Excellent question, family. Support levels. I bought more last night and is going to buy more once the candle closes. Anyways, I know you guys are getting impatient, so let's dive into our Bitcoin TA, aka Astrology for Men. Let's check out the charts where the price action is likely to go next. Shout out to Badar Ahmed. I appreciate you subbing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Much love, much respect. So here we go. Bitcoin remains stuck below 43 Gs this week as even institutional buyers has little impact on the markets. Here you're looking at the Bitcoin 4-hour candle chart, and TradingView confirms the price action is focused on a narrow range for the 7th day in a row. Since dropping 15% in the 2 days last week after the launch of the first spot US ETFs, Bitcoin has underwhelmed the traders. While so far not delivering further downside, the bulls likewise lack the momentum to bring Bitcoin back to even the top of its border trading range, with 48,000 as the ceiling. In fact, we actually touched roughly 49,000. It was very short-lived, but that was right off the back of the announcement of the approval. Then we started dumping immediately after. But examining which hurdles lie in the way, trading resource material indicators flagged the key problem: too much liquidity around the spot price action. Quoting them here, liquidity dampens the volatility. That is precisely why Bitcoin has been trading sideways, with the price pinned between 41.5 and 44,000 since Saturday. Now, material indicators presented the heat map you can see on your screen of the order book liquidity on Binance, showing a haze. Where my purple haze at, fam? A bid support between 42 and which is the spot around 42.5. Quoting them again, on the weekly view of the Binance order book, we can see another 10 million plus, and Bitcoin bids has moved around 42,000, but resistance above 43.5 has been strengthening. And since Bitcoin fell below 44,000, significant seller interest has appeared both there and at 45. The heat map additionally confirmed. Now, material indicators concluded there was no clear candidates for shaking up the market in the short term. Now, various other theories for why Bitcoin is not reacting to the ETF launch with snap gains, meanwhile, continue to surface. We have Philip Swift, creator of Statistics Resource, looking to Bitcoin. And shout out to Philip Swift. I've interviewed him here on the channel. We've done some live Q&A, not Q&A, but also TA, as he's a pretty awesome analyst. And if you'd like to see me bring him back on the channel, let me know. Maybe we'll do that. He flagged the classic signal on its value days destroyed, multiple metric, the VDD, which multiple multiplies the existing coin days destroyed metric by the current price of Bitcoin to compare spending velocity over time. Typically marks a local top when it passes 1.5, according to Swift, quoting him here. Value days destroyed multiple reached frothy levels for this early stage of the cycle. No surprise the Bitcoin price needed to cool down. So there you have it. And as Cointelegraph reported, the VDD suggests that Bitcoin was in an early stage bull market in July last year. And now quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, Bitcoin ETFs are a gateway drug to self-custody. Tell him. Love that quote, by the way. And what a great image of Kaiser and Peter Shifty here. Interesting. And also breaking news, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF now officially holds over 25,000 Bitcoin, worth over $1 billion. How long did it take them to acquire 25,000 Bitcoin? 1 week. And the ironic part is they don't even got to put up their own money, right? Other people do. And guess what? They get to hold it through Coinbase. But remember, not your Bitcoin if it's on the exchanges, not your Bitcoin if it's held by the ETFs. You get the cash equivalent, but you have to keep in mind, what if the government were to seize all of the Bitcoin ETF BTC, in which Max Keiser has been warning us against? Let's not forget, in 1933, we had the Gold Seizure Act, in which they confiscated all the gold and made it illegal to hold. What if that's the ultimate plan, to make illegal self-custody and force all the Bitcoin on the exchanges and to the custodians, yada, 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 and then it's a way for them to snatch up all the Bitcoin in the name of national security? Let me know your thoughts on that. Conspiracy theory fam. I'm going to read some more comments out loud. JV George said, you as the creator can gift 10 memberships per month, no charge. I didn't know that. That's phenomenal, because if that's true, on tomorrow's show, what am I going to be doing? Gifting 10 memberships. So thank you, family. Make sure to tune in tomorrow, because I can't figure it out while I'm on a live, but we'll check that out. I'll look into it. And if it's true, we'll gift 10 memberships on tomorrow's show. How about that? But make sure you tune in early, because I'm not going to be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern. I got to pick my daughter up at school at 3, meaning JV needs to go live around 11 a.m. Eastern, which is noon my time, FYI. Thanks for the heads up, family. Shout out to George. We're all George. They own the government, though. You snooze, you lose. Tangem, the only way to hold. Got one and will never use the Trezor again. Oh, wow. It's that good. Appreciate the insights there, Aaron. Grayscale just handed their Bitcoin to BlackRock, pretty much. Seems planned, says O'Hardy. Word. 20-week moving average is my bearish target, negative 22%. Where would that take us down to, brother? Let me know what price range. Alessio, your wallet, baby. They took your gold in the 70s. What makes you think they can't take Bitcoin from the ETF or the exchanges? There you go. Thanks for the heads up. I didn't even realize they confiscated gold again in the 70s. I remember the 1933 Gold Seizure Act, but yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Don't trust these corrupt mofos with nothing. Yeah. Where was the hat? Okay, so true story. It was in the closet. Last night, I was putting together a vertical stand for my PS5, because tomorrow, I pick up my daughter and I want to get it all ready. And I needed a screwdriver, so I was looking in the drawers. I have like a thing in the closet, and then it was just sitting right there on the thing in the closet. And I'm just like, hidden in plain sight. I must have looked at it 100 times and not realized it was my hat. No idea. Sound retarded, I know. Anyways, true story. It was in the closet right behind me, and it was a week before I could find the hat. Can't make this ish up, man. I wish I had a better story. Like, yeah, some ninjas broke in the house. I had to defend myself. Thank God I practiced martial arts when I was younger, and I was able to withhold them. And, they came at me with a knife, and I blocked it like this. I used my praying mantis style, and I had to do the Shaolin finger jab and hit him right in the eyes and got my hat back. But unfortunately, it was like in my closet, hidden in plain sight. So yikes. Trump will win if RFK Jr. isn't invited to the debate. On 25 minutes late, what I miss? You missed the story about the hat, dog. Doggy is snickering behind you. Shout out to the doggy. His name is Nipsey, named after the late, great Nipsey Hussle. Otherwise, Trump will be someone's breakfast, and we will be a lot better off, says the JD Club. Toyotas are great too, says the ever-listing Bliss. Oh, snap, my closet. My closet is a black hole. Oh, snap. True story, there's no truth with these lying maggots. Oh, it's 2 weeks. Welcome back, Mr. Troll. Appreciate you tuning in to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. I appreciate your support. So thank you. Every viewer counts. 5-finger death punch. They call that, actually, you got Din Mok, the touch of death. Pow. Yeah, I just don't understand when there is so much buy, why Bitcoin is going the opposite direction. Let's see if we can get some sage advice from Bruce Lee, of all people. You know, speaking of martial arts and all this stuff, here's what Bruce Lee has to say.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Like water, my friends.
Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot.
Preach.
Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friends.
Be water, my friends. And with that being shared, let's dive into our next story of the day. Welcome everyone joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream. We appreciate it. Let's discuss the latest with the Bitcoin ETFs. I just shared with you BlackRock now holds over 25,000 BTC through their ETF, and it only took a freaking week. The historic launch of the spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US triggered the sell-off in crypto, but in the ETF industry, the funds have been successful in the first week of trading, according to analysts. Since the first day of the spot ETF, January 11th, Bitcoin tumbled 6.6% from nearly 49,000 to 42.8 at the time of this article, according to data from CoinGecko. The sharp decline came mostly in the first 2 days of trading, while the intra-week low was 41,753, and right now we're barely even holding on to 41,000, family. Despite the hot Bitcoin ETFs failing to fuel the Bitcoin price spike in the first week of trading, which was expected by some prominent investors, the funds themselves have seen a successful start thus far, according to the industry analysts. The debut of the spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US was one of the most successful ETF launches in terms of trading volumes, with 10 funds reaching 10 billion in combined volume in the first 3 days. And according to the expert Balchunas, spot Bitcoin ETFs have seen unprecedented activity and volume since their launch. Balchunas claimed that all 500 ETFs launched in 2023 have reached only 450 million in combined volume thus far, which is 2,100% less than the spot ETFs did in just 3 days. Let that sink in. And quoting him here, it is hard to get volume, harder than flows even, and definitely harder than assets, because volume has to form naturally in the marketplace, can't really be faked, and it gives an ETF staying power. So most trading volumes came from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust ETF, GBTC, which accounted for more than 50% of the combined 10 billion in volume in the first 3 days. And according to Yahoo Finance data, GBTC has traded more than 6.3 billion so far, handling around 2 billion per day in the first 2 days of trading. Now, GBTC has seen massive selling following the ETF launch, with the fund seeing 1.2 billion in net outflows in the first 3 days of trading, which is most likely to contribute to the dumpage in the market. GBTC sells 27,000 BTC, but other ETFs buy more. So while GBTC has been offloading massive amounts of Bitcoin in the first days of trading, other spot ETFs have been growing their Bitcoin holdings. In the first 4 days after launch, GBTC sold a total of 27,000 Bitcoin, or 4.4% of its total initial holdings, meaning they still have roughly 619,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin Investor Capital 15C reposted. On the other hand, other ETF issuers, including BlackRock, Fidelity, and Ark Invest, bought at least 40,000 BTC combined. And BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin Trust, the second largest spot Bitcoin ETF by holdings, increased its assets from 2,600 Bitcoin on January 11th to now more than 25,000 as of yesterday, January 17th. And you can see right here the holdings of Bitcoin as of January 17th, with BlackRock leading the pack with, according to this, over 16,000, Fidelity 12,000, Bitwise 8,000, Ark 21, 5,000, and the list goes on. So according to the latest available data from the ETF issuers, the spot ETFs currently hold 651,819 BTC combined, which is 3.3% of all 19.6 million Bitcoins that have ever been issued. Let that sink in. And on addition to that, we also have MicroStrategy currently holds roughly 200,000 BTC, which is roughly 1% of the circulating Bitcoin supply, but to be more precise, 0.9%. So what's next for the spot Bitcoin ETFs. The launch of these ETFs in the US have been seen by many as a sell the news moment, with some analysts suggesting that more pressure could come from the futures markets. Quoting analysts here, Jurian Timmer, who's actually the Fidelity Director of Global Macro, we're likely seeing a short-term positioning adjustment and not a long-term trend reversal, but unwinding an increase of more than 13,000 futures contracts is likely to create some churn in the price action in the coming weeks. And according to VanEck's head of digital asset research, Matthew Siegel, the latest short-term correction could have been triggered by Bitcoin miners selling coins more actively recently, coupled with Bitcoin halving expected to occur in roughly 90 days in April. The entrance of institutions is likely to send Bitcoin to the all-time highs after the U.S. presidential elections in the fourth quarter of 2024, according to Siegel. He also shared, "We are pleased to see the ETFs trading with such liquidity, tight spreads, and small discounts to NAVs. We expect institutional investors to accelerate their purchases over the coming quarters as their asset allocation models, including Bitcoin, are released to the market." And according to Standard Chartered, the spot Bitcoin ETFs could attract inflows of 50 to 100 billion this year in 2024, with the Bitcoin price potentially hitting 200,000 per Bitcoin by the end of 2025. Now, Standard Chartered is a massive financial institution, and guess who the primary shareholder is? BlackRock. So you already know they're bullish on Bitcoin, anticipating a 200,000 price action, typically before the end of the cycle, which they're anticipating to be in 2025. So let me know if you agree or disagree with this sentiment. I'm going to check the comments. Miners and Grayscale did it for shizzle. Oh, Hardy, I feel you. That thumbnail, you digging it? If you digging college Cathie Wood, show some love, family. I had to hook it up for my broskies here today because every single day in the chat, regardless if the show is about Cathie or not, you guys are always talking about Cathie. Cathie, Cathie, Cathie. So I had to hook the broskies up. Fox Base Delta. I am not suggesting that less is better than more. What I'm saying is that all of this increases, so best to regulate on means and risks. Word. Phil, Bitcoin price always dips before the halving. Yep, typically, and then we moon after the halving. Realistically thinking, we need to hold 40 G's, says Bob. We're only $700 away now, fam. As we continue our dumpage, we're now down 2,000 on the day. Bitcoin is going in the right direction. If you want old times, you'll want this correction now, not later. Good point, Keith Bitboy. We buy the dip and go sideways, hodl, then we moon. Trump and Vivek team will win. Did Trump announce having him as a VP, or is that just speculation? A lot of people talking about it, but I never heard them talk about it. And look at Nipsey. His paws go up and they stay there. This might be the buy signal we're looking for. When you use your gray hat, Bitcoin goes down, the orange goes up. Not true, because I've done hundreds of episodes with this hat on where we have pumped. So, hey, Cathie has everyone in the chat trending up and to the left. Thank you for the picture. You're very welcome, Serge. I had to hook the broskies up today. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you, TRW. You know what to do. Phil C, it's not only doing what it does, it'll go back, and it'll probably won't stop at 49. 50 G's, baby. Send it. Who doesn't like a bargain unless you already have a big enough bag? Precisely, Daddy-O. Well said. The bulls climb the stairs, and the bears jump out the window. That's a good one. I dig it. I dig it.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
I agree. Look at Nipsey, yo. Throwing up those paws. You see that? He's just like, yo, I'm right here, dog. This dump feels like it's going bananas after this. I hope so, Oh Hardy. Send it. Y'all know how I feel about Cathie, JV, fan for life. Thank you, Keith. Thank you. I'm noticing the pattern of losing money every week. Should I do hold? What do you mean by losing money every week? Are you just figuratively speaking? Because you got to keep in mind, unless you sell, you can't be losing money every week. Because whatever your Bitcoin is, it's still equivalent to that exact amount of Bitcoin unless you sold at a loss. So keep that in mind. Make sure it's alive. Nipsey's alive. His eyes are wide open, fam. He just went on a nice walk and just fed him. He's living his best life. Did Saylor buy another chunk after the share sale? He's supposed to be buying Bitcoin for his personal stash every day for the next 4 months. He announced that. Selling his stock of what is it called? MSTR, and purchasing up Bitcoin for his personal stash before his stock options expire. I wonder who's selling now. Selling at these prices is pretty risky already. Good point, Mark. Weak hand newbies are running back to the stock market. I have been wondering, with these ETFs being cash in, cash out, there's a way to manipulate the market with reverse splits. I'm not familiar with reverse splits. I'm not like a stock expert, but it does seem to be some manipulation in there for sure, whatever's going on. But I think it's going to be a short-term thing. And I think over the long term, you know what I mean, the ETFs will serve their purpose and ultimately usher in trillions of dollars of capital. I mean, the numbers are already record-breaking for ETFs, as we mentioned earlier. If you bought at 40, chill. You're going to feel really good by the end of the year. Well said, O'Hardy. We could see six figures very easily this year, in my opinion. Welcome, A. I appreciate you subbing, family. Folks that bought at 16 to 20 till at 2x. Come on. Good point. If you bought at the bottom of the cycle, you're already up 2x, family, more than 2x. Cathie Wood's a dime piece back in the day, eh? Anonymous. That was back in her college days. Even Nipsey is like, yo, where's Cathie at? I wish she can rub my belly right now. I had a GBTC and an IRA. Yesterday, I swapped it out for Ark B. I keep my real Bitcoin in cold storage. My man, shout out Bitwise. 75,000 by Valentine's Day. Let's go. Is that February 14th, fam? I dig it because that'd be a new all-time high by the time of JV's birthday. Send it. My birthday, February 11th. 58,000 by the Super Bowl. When is the Super Bowl? And who's going to be competing in the Super Bowl? I don't follow football, so clue me in. Daddy-O says, I wish Trump is not rolling with Vivek. Tucker Carlson or Dan Bongino. I never heard of the Dan Bongino guy, but I like Tucker. Tucker's likable guy. Cathie is a looker, says Fairground. Pump the likes. If you love that picture of Cathie, make sure you pump the likes. We're going to 32. Cheers. If we do, that'd be a great buy the dip opportunity, wouldn't it? What are your thoughts on the strategy of holding onto Bitcoin and taking out loans against it? I mean, it's high risk, but it serves its purpose. So JV, real life example with BlockFi a few years ago, I took out a Bitcoin back loan and I purchased this house. And it was a pretty big purchase for JV. And it worked out in the end, but I was this close to getting liquidated and losing all my collateral. If I would have been unable to pay off the loan by a specific time when Bitcoin was crashing from, I think I took out the loan, Bitcoin was 40,000. And then when we hit 30,000, I got a margin call, which ultimately means it scared the shit out of me. It's like, when Bitcoin hits 25,000, you're going to get liquidated unless you add more collateral. So like, frick, what do I do? And I was fortunate to be able to pay off the loan and not lose all my collateral. And now I own the house free and clear, paid for by Bitcoin. So it worked out for JV, but now I understand the risks. And that was a very stressful time when I got that notification about being liquidated, because I didn't really truly understand how it all worked until kind of putting myself in it. So you got to be very careful when borrowing. And if you're in a position where you're unable to pay it back, you can lose out tremendously and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. So if you ever borrow, make sure you're in a position to pay it back. That's my key advice to anybody thinking about borrowing against their Bitcoin. Tucker is not interested in being a VP. Why should he, man? You know what I mean? He's living his best life. JV, can you put a poll on how many would date Cathie? Man, I can't. For some reason, it doesn't give me the option on the phone, and I can't do that while I'm on the stream because the stream software doesn't give me the option either, and it may mess up something. But I can do that for later when we do the premiere of today's live. For those that don't know, every evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, we take this 2-hour live stream and I condense it into 30 minutes and I premiere it in the evenings. I can put the poll up then and we'll ask that question. You know what I mean? Just for you. Cathie Wood looks like Bubbles from Trailers Park Boys. I don't know what the Trailer Park Boys are. Cathie crashed the market. Who'd you take out the loan with? For me, it was BlockFi, but keep in mind they since got wrecked by Bankman-Fried, and unfortunately, and they filed, I think it was Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they're no longer in existence. I don't know what other institutions are out there that currently accept Bitcoin as collateral for loans, but I think in the future, it'll be standard. I think every FDIC insured bank will eventually accept Bitcoin because it's pristine collateral. It's perfect money. There's no better collateral than that you can have. Now, alternatives, there are some decentralized finance protocols, one of them being Aave, where you can borrow against your Bitcoin. I don't know too much about it because I've never personally done it. Just other people have told me about it. So it may be something you can look into. Which coin is the second best? That's always a good question.
Take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you
Daddy-o, that pic of Cathie is at 48 years old. You guys are crazy. Pump the likes. Let's get past the 600s then. Let's go on to the 700s. Why not? I appreciate y'all. I wouldn't date Cathie. She is too in it. I wouldn't date young Cathie because I like her as she is. There you go. Coming from Fox Base, the second best. Bitcoin Cash. I need to get my life back together and start growing cannabis again. I don't like that word, DOPE. You mean cannabis, right? Or just say herb. Dope. I actually use the word dope a lot, but not in that context. Dumps seem to be happening every 30 minutes. Man, I want a meeting with Cathie, Natalie Brunell, and Senator Cynthia Lummis. For real? Don't care about the age? You guys are too much, Luigi. That's hilarious. Unless you have millions of dollars in Bitcoin and borrowing a little bit, I would do it. Celsius had a Bitcoin loan. Coinbase killed their Bitcoin loan program. Do you think the SEC forced this? More than likely. Who knows? I don't really know. I'd dump my girlfriend for Cathie, says Mario. Well, of course, Cathie is probably worth $1 billion. What's your girlfriend worth? Whatever you've given her. Just joking, family. The photo of Cathie was edited, by the way. I think it was AI. It was floating around in 2021 with a comparison on Reddit. You for real? Because I found a few old school photos. I typed in young Cathie Wood on the Google search for images, which is how I find thumbnail images. And I found one where she just looked too young. Like maybe she was still in, I don't know, high school or middle school. I'm like, that's just not right. And this one, it said college Cathie Wood. So I'm like, can this be college Cathie? You never know. Cathie was a hottie before Bitcoin. Cheers. Bitcoin Cash is forgotten, pretty much. Love the face you made when the guy said he would date old Cathie the way she is. I don't remember the face I made, but it's an honest reaction. It's a Trailer Park Boys reference. I need to get my life back together and start growing dope. Okay. I got to check out these Trailer Boys, apparently. Yeah, I saw the Reddit posts. My girlfriend is negative equity, definitely upside down. Well, there you go. There is no second Cathie Wood. There you go. But anyways, fam, let's dive into our next story of the day. Continue discussing some of these ETFs, what Bitwise is up to right now. You can see the headlines right here. Bitwise spot Bitcoin ETF in top 5% of the largest ETFs launched in 2023. And we're not too far out now. And again, the Bitcoin ETF was just launched last week. We're already approaching the volume of gold. And think about how long the gold ETFs have been around. So anyways, the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF Trust, which is BitB, is now in the top 5% of ETFs by assets under management, launched in 2023. Now, on January 18th, Hunter Horsley, co-founder and CEO of the asset manager Bitwise, announced that BitB took another $68 million and bought Bitcoin. Horsley highlighted that this places the total inflows of assets into BitB at $370 million in the previous 4 days. As he shares here on Twitter, today the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF took in another 68 milli and bought Bitcoin. Now, 370 million total inflows over 4 days. Grateful to the investors for entrusting us to steward their assets in the space. Again, Bitcoin ETF is not equivalent to Bitcoin and self-custody, family. What Max say a little earlier, we quoted him right here. He shared, Bitcoin ETFs are a gateway drug to self-custody. Preach. Now, Nate Gerasi, president of the investment advising firm ETF Store, claimed in a post that BitB, which only launched 4 days before, outperforms many ETFs that launched in 2023. Gerasi said that by reaching assets under management of 355 mil, the ETF would rank in the top 25 of the 540 ETFs launched in 2023. As Nate shares here, just put things into perspective. Over 540 ETFs were launched last year in 2023. Now, BitB's 355 mil assets under management places it at the top 25 of those ETFs using our current assets under management in 4 days. That's pretty insane. Now, BitB's assets under management is now hovering at around 354 mil, according to an ETF tracker created by Sprout Finance. This means the ETF's ranking may have since dropped in the rankings. And on January 16th, the newly launched spot Bitcoin ETFs outperformed 500 other ETFs launched last year in 2023, according to the Bloomberg ETF analyst, Mr. Balchunas. And while the other ETFs clocked a volume of 450 million that day, spot Bitcoin ETFs pulled in a total volume of 1.8 billion. Meanwhile, data shared by Bloomberg intelligent analyst James Seyfarth showed the overall trading volume across the new spot Bitcoin ETF products reaching 10 billion in the last 3 days. Crazy, right? Now, amongst the newly launched spot Bitcoin ETFs, BitB lies in the third place by assets under management, as you can see in this chart, with BlackRock iShares Bitcoin Trust at the top with over 700 million, followed by Fidelity's FBTC in second place with 427 mil in assets under management. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Welcome Blaine Kruger, what it do, 35 G's. How's the moon fam today? Shout out to all my Bitcoin moon boys. Cheers, fam. Say fart. Tucker is the man. Man, his episodes be getting now, some of them, over 100 million views on X. Compare that when he was working at Fox, maybe only receiving 10 million or less views. So it pays to go on social media. Screw the mainstream. I don't think anyone trusts them anymore. Liz Warren, go home. Preach, do Hanks. Full send. Bring it. Bitcoin. We love the Bitcoin. Hi, DIA. Anyone hear what Max Kaiser said about Elizabeth Warren this morning on the Wolf of Wall Street? JV, please play it. Max actually messaged me and sent me the interview. I didn't get to watch it yet because I've been setting up for today's show. So you got to tell me what he said. But you bet your bottom dollar I'll be dissecting that interview and sharing some of the goodness the high priest has to share. I love when he rants on, Elizabeth Warren. He's the best. Long live the king. Luigi, bro, if a worthy woman is Cathie, call at the love of a man. Imagine yourself with some Bitcoin in the future. How will you judge all the groupies? Buy Bitcoin. Exactly what Luigi said. We are going up. Yeah, we are going back up. BlackRock tanking the market so the Saudi fund can climb in. You never know. The velvet road treatment might be the red carpet. You know what I mean? What are the laws on weed in Puerto Rico? It's not recreational, it's medicinal. So it means if you get your license, which is very easy to attain, virtually every block has a dispensary. It's a big business over here, just as it is everywhere else. So Puerto Ricans love their cannabis. And you can get a license and then you can pull up to the dispensary and you can virtually purchase a tremendous amount of anything that you want. Give you some example. In Florida, my brother who has his license tells me he can only purchase like up to 1 ounce a month. They limit how much you can purchase. Here in Puerto Rico, you can purchase an ounce if you want in a day, and then you can come back tomorrow, purchase another ounce, and every day of the month, purchase another ounce if you were that big of a smoker. Personally, I don't know anyone who can smoke an ounce of weed in a single day. But in Puerto Rico, it's fair game. Also in Puerto Rico, the prices are virtually half the cost of the dispensaries in Florida. And this is according to my brother telling me the prices at the dispensary in Florida, because I don't live in Florida any longer. I live in Puerto Rico. I got my license here in Puerto Rico. So you can get an ounce of the best primo grade cannabis with almost as high as 40% THC for $150. An ounce of weed in Florida at a dispensary, and shout out to DP, appreciate your family, it's going to cost at least $300, maybe even as high as $400, depending upon the strand. You know what I mean? That Wiz Khalifa, I hear, is very expensive. So the prices here are way more affordable when it comes to dispensary cannabis. If you don't know, now you know. Hi from Israel, your opinion. Are we on our way to 35 during the coming week and the whole bubble burst? Always, when we do TA, we cover the downside and the upside because we can go down, we can go up. And the truth is, not a single human being on the planet knows if we're going to continue to go down or up. That's just the nature of it, right? I know for the long haul, Bitcoin's going to continue to do its thing and go up. I'm not a short-term guy, so I don't care about the short term. So to me, if we dip, just another opportunity to stack sats. I'm in it for the long haul, and that's the name of the game. The stuff is too damn strong now, Steve. Good weed makes me paranoid. Can't do it anymore. JK Realty, because so many people are buying Bitcoin, it's in high demand. Yeah, but how's the weed? Here, excellent. The best of the best. Right? I know a lot of places have good buds. Colorado has good buds. You know, California is known for having good buds. Amsterdam has good buds. I know from firsthand experience. However, the bud here is great. No complaints from JV. Hi from Brazil. Love your work. I appreciate that, MM. Cheers, brother. Buy Munger. Buy Bitcoin, buy Munger. Today is a buying day, 100%. Here in Colombia, you're allowed to grow 19 weed plants, but no smoking outside your residence. So are you saying you can smoke inside? Now, shout out to Colombia. I smoked some very good stuff out there. I used to live in Medellin for 6 months. So they got some good buds as well, I know. Yeah, rather buy Bitcoin. There you go, John. Rolling up the Primo Aqua in Colombia. Now, I remember you can even get pre-rolled blunts in Colombia, and I don't know if they're dipped in honey, but they have I don't know if it's called keef. I don't know all the lingo, but yeah, good stuff. Make you feel like you're Pablo Escobar out there. In fact, I actually did the Pablo Escobar tour, saw where they shot him down at his mom's house, visited the grave and all that kind of stuff. That was interesting. And it was actually his own cousin giving the tour. So Pablo Escobar, notorious in Medellin. For those that don't know, now you know. Hey, from Bangladesh, what it do? Thomas, too much weed causes one to forget where they left their cat. Yes, Colorado, I visited many times. That's what's up, Jordan. What's your preferred method of getting lit? Smoke, edibles, vape? Man, that's a good question. I like edibles. I like the cookies, personally. I like eating a little cookie. Not a high dosage, very small dosage, maybe 10 mg. I'm not down with taking 200 mgs or something like that. Some people, I couldn't function. It just helps me sleep to deal with sometimes I have insomnia where I'm just always thinking and I need to quiet the mind. And sometimes the cookie will help me quiet the mind. So I'd say that's the cleanest way, because vaping, you're inhaling, and obviously in smoke, you're inhaling. So I'd say what's the safest way would probably be an edible, in my humble opinion, at a lower dose, so it don't knock you the heck out, unless you're looking to get knocked out like Tyson in his prime or something. Colombia in the house. Keep the hodl. Puff, puff, pass. BC Buds are where it's at. Vancouver Island. That's what's up. Pump the likes to pump the stream, fam. I appreciate it, but I know I've been rambling about bud skis. So let's dive into our next story of the day, shall we? Welcome, J-Divs. I appreciate you subbing, family. Let's discuss the latest with the Bitcoin miners. The headline reads here: Bitcoin mining sustainable energy usage hits an all-time high of 54.5%. The Bitcoin ESG forecast has revealed that Bitcoin mining using sustainable energy has increased to a new all-time high of 54.5%, with sustainable mining rising by 3.6% overall during the calendar year of 2023. And according to the article, the Bitcoin ESG forecast analyzed data from its Bitcoin Energy and Emissions Sustainability Tracker, or BEEST model, and compared the sustainable energy mix of Bitcoin to other industries over the past 4 years using publicly available data. And right now we're sitting at 54.5%. Now, wasn't it Elon Musk that made the promise, if we can prove that, Bitcoin is using clean energy surpassing 50%, that he would accept Bitcoin for Teslas? But yet, no word from Elon. Crickets. But according to the data, Bitcoin mining is currently the highest use of sustainable energy, 54.5% across multiple subsectors. And it has achieved an increase in sustainable mining of 3.6% for the calendar year of 2023 compared with the other global industries. The Bitcoin ESG forecast found off-grid Bitcoin miners using methane emissions. And according to the research, small oil producers in Canada and the US pay for permits to flare nat gas, with some venting methane directly, which is harder to detect. However, some mining companies use vented methane to generate electricity for Bitcoin mining, reducing the environmental impact compared to venting it into the air. This means the Bitcoin network mitigates 7.3% of all its emissions without offsets, a new all-time high and the highest level of non-offset based emission mitigation of any industry. And according to the article, additional off-grid renewable energy, such as Tether's expansion into hydro mining in Latin America and the discovery of more off-grid methane mitigating mining, it means that the Bitcoin network uses more sustainable energy than ever. And after the ban on mining Back in China and its effective prohibition in Kazakhstan, miners predominantly moved to the greener grids in North America, such as Texas, or sustainable off-grid sites. The Post states that global grids are becoming greener at 0.7% per year, resulting in a 29% improvement in emission intensity for on-grid Bitcoin miners compared to 2021. So there you have it, family. Now, also, let's not forget there's geothermal technology, which they're diving into in El Salvador. Max said it could take a few years to finish the setup process, but they already began, where they're going to be using the natural energy from the volcanoes to mine Bitcoin. Now, think about all the volcanoes on the planet, especially in Latin America, Central America, South America. There's a lot of volcanoes that could be mining Bitcoin. And there's other alternative methods of free energy as well, which has been suppressed for the past century. And I won't dive any deeper into that because I want my YouTube channel to be up for a long time. But you guys know what I'm saying. Nikola Tesla discovered free energy a very long time ago. There's an infinite amount of energy in the ether, pun not intended here, but there's an infinite amount of energy we can tap into, but that technology has been suppressed, if you know what I'm saying. Cathie Wood in diapers. How dare you, Abel Gonzalez? I am Frank, Bitcoin only. Welcome, Frank. What up, fan? What up, Emilio? Good to see you, brother. Tesla should use Bitcoin collateral loans for low interest loans to buy Tesla vehicles. That'd actually be pretty smart. Damn, don't despair. People need to be more frank. There you go, everlasting bliss. XRP is heading to 40 cents by Monday. Where's it at now? XRP's been having a rough past few years. JV, love your interest. Thank you, everlasting bliss. Tyler Campbell, doubt that. They hodling long term. Bring it. Casey, what it do? Good to see you, family. Hey, bro, Bitcoin can go up 50 G's, 100%. Bitcoin 50 G's target still in play, according to the high priest. We're having a 2-week setback due to a lot of the FUD from the mainstream, including the Vanguard oligarchs, which we covered in yesterday's episode. My goal is to build a homestead, solar, wind, geothermal, and help run a mining operation. That's what's up, Steve. In Canada, you can buy £1 a day if you want. Bada boom, bada bing, let's go. Shout out to my Canadians, eh? Crypto Surge, Africa, let's go. This one's for Africa, Samina Mina. Shout out to Shakira. Do we sell? Never sell. That's the name of the game. You hodl. Bitcoin is my only hustle. I dig it, Jennifer. I dig it. Cheers from Moscow. Shout out Russia. Salute. We're bullish on ETH. Right on. Your homeboy, Vitalik, is Russian. You should be. What's their sentiment, the government, on, say, Bitcoin and Ethereum? Or is there any talk of ETFs? Anything on the mainstream news coming out of Russia for crypto? Let me know. I want to be... what's the word where you tell me all the information? Forget the word we use. Yeah, they'll suppress the air soon and charge you for it. Carbon taxes, I think they call that, right? Man, you guys can smoke a lot. Steve, what are your thoughts on super mushroom gummies? Wow, I've never had a mushroom gummy, so I can't speak from experience. I've had a chocolate, psilocybin dealio, and yeah, those were delicious. The fact we just finally pulled back properly, 100% chance we're going to 50,000 fairly soon. Send it, Keith. Informed. There's one of the words. I was looking for the word where, like, for example, let's say there's a president taking place of a new president and they have to dump all this information into you. There's a specific term. That's what I was thinking about, but I couldn't think of the word. Hodl is my co-pilot. Mr. Bones, where you at? 40%, 150, let's go. I dumped my girlfriend to buy Bitcoin. I took my computer to mine for more Bitcoin. My life has become Bitcoin. There's no second best. That's what's up, man. You got to do what you got to do in this crazy world. I don't like how new cars spy on you. Oh, I agree with you, Casey. I read on something like from, Ford, the manufacturer of cars. They wrote something like, I saw in a headline, where if you don't pay, like, for example, let's say you get a loan on your car and you stop paying it, it's programmed to drive back to the dealership. So imagine that you go in your car one day and you're a little behind on your payments and then it just takes off on its own and drives back to the dealership. I'm like, oh, hell no. That shit's crazy. Plug in like the Matrix. I smoke 150 ounces a week and I thought that was a lot. I went to Rat Dog concert, Grateful Dead, really, and had a chocolate ball. That's what's up. Ate mushies at the Island Beach Club yesterday. Love the Bitcoin life. Cheers, Big Rad. Debrief. That's the word. Thank you, Jim. You got it. I was looking for that word, debriefing. Debrief. Yes. You want to be in the know? Yes. 100K cigar live smoke. Let's go. I don't know if it'll be tobacco inside, though. You already know. Car repos itself. Exactly. The cars will now repo themselves. The only way not to have a heart attack from stress is to smoke weed and watch Bitcoin. Well, one thing, be honest, positive about cannabis, it boosts your immune system, and COVID, like people who smoke weed don't catch COVID. So if you didn't know, that's basically what I heard. I'm not a doctor or anything, but people that smoke weed are less likely to catch COVID. So let that sink in. Police can get all of the location and video into your car without notice. Yeah, that's kind of sad. Rum balls are my thing. Oh, rum balls. I remember those back in the day at parties. Oh my God. Wow, there's no second best girlfriend gone. Winning. That's because they are couch locked and don't go out in public. This is becoming a weed channel instead of Bitcoin-ish. Hey, it's just a chat, fam. Just interact into the chat. It's great how conspiracy subjects merge with crypto, 100% family. But anyways, pump the like to help pump the stream. We've already been live for an hour. So let's dive into our next story of the day, Let's discuss the stock to flow targets from Plan B, his latest 3 targets. If you're not familiar with the stock to flow model, it ultimately predicts Bitcoin hovering between 100 G's per coin and 1 million per coin between 2024 in 2028. So here's the latest predictions. Then we'll dive into the latest Cathie Wood for all my broskies out there. So here we go. According to Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, the Bitcoin price is likely to soar to 55,000 before the next halving event. This halving event is slated to take place in roughly 90 days in April, and the Bitcoin block reward is bound to reduce by 50% to 3.125 BTC. And throughout history, there has been a major buying frenzy ahead of these halving events, underscoring the projection from Plan B. Now, later this year, Plan B expects the price of Bitcoin to soar beyond the all-time high to a high. Did someone say high? 100,000. It is worth noting that this price target has been Plan B's call for some time now. The difference this time is the presence of the spot Bitcoin ETFs following the historic approval granted by the US SEC. Now, I also heard Gary say in his own voice, the chairman of the SEC, that if it wasn't for the lawsuit of Grayscale winning against the SEC, they would have never changed their stance and would have never gave the green light for these Bitcoin ETFs. So we got to give Grayscale some credit here. Now, in the long term, Plan B said he expects the price of Bitcoin to touch a high of 532,000 per BTC. Send it. Now, how would your life change, family, if we were sitting on a $532,000 biddy? Let me know. The veteran trader pegged the timeline for this extremely bullish price call in 2025. And as revealed by the accompanying video he released, he backed his price forecast using the iconic stock to flow model, thus granting additional legitimacy to the projections as a whole. Now, Plan B has relatively conservative outlook. Bullish as the call from Plan B is, it is relatively conservative when compared to other major bulls like Samson Mow. The top Bitcoin investor believes the spot Bitcoin ETF products will catalyze the price of Bitcoin to $1 million per coin in the long term. While this is a far cry from the coin's current price of now $41,000, Samson Mow stands by his prediction, and he wants a loan accolade when the coin hits that historic high. So there you have it, my crypto fam. What are your thoughts on Plan B's prediction of a 500,000 Bitcoin price, and how high do you think we're likely to climb by this cycle peak? And do you think the cycle peak will be this year in 2024 against the grain of the history of the 4-year cycle? Or do you think it'll be the year preceding the halving, which would be next year in 2025? Let me know your honest thoughts. We'll read some more comments before we dive into our feature story of the day for the broskies. The latest on Cathie Wood, her 25% allocation into Bitcoin of all of her wealth, as well as her 1.5 million Bitcoin price call. Thank you, Casey. We only have 254 likes, but there's almost 600 people watching right now. So you know what to do. Help support the stream. I'm not asking for anything. You don't need to send JV anything. All you need to do, pump the like to help pump the stream. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm and gets more eyeballs on the stream. I appreciate it. I don't know anyone else here that is here every single day for the past 5-6 years. You know what I mean? 7 days a week, 365 days per year, doing pump watches that are 12 hours long when we're pumping and hanging out with you all through the night. I don't know another podcaster doing that. So pump the likes. to pump the stream. I appreciate it. This year, 90 to 100,000, says Mark. Send it. Track, welcome. This year, peak in November. Send it and let's get it. Never forget it. Mark, next year, 500 G's. A social worker once said, you do drugs, drink, and chase women. I said the problem, yes, got to go to the work the next day. Emilio, that's hilarious. If Elon was so smart, he created a better energy system for Bitcoin. Oh, if he was so smart, he'd create a better energy. Exactly. Listen to the original OG Max, 100%. Shout out to Max. True OG here. My daughters are watching too, 7 years old, learning about the boy. That's what's up, Rich. I appreciate you and shout out to your daughter. Much love, or daughters in this case. What's the channel name? It's Crypto News Alerts. Never forget it. Crypto News Alerts. This is the #1 daily Bitcoin pod in the world. I claim it, right? Because right now, we're getting over 400,000 downloads per month on iTunes and Spotify for the pod. And for the video version of the pod, such as here on the tube, we're now getting over 700,000 views per month. That doesn't count the second channel or the third channel or the Rumble channel. And it doesn't include on X, where we're now getting millions of views per month over there as well. So this is officially the #1 daily Bitcoin pod, because ain't no one do it like we do it. And I thank you guys, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have what we have here. Shout out to Mark Meyer. I appreciate you subbing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Let's freaking go. Moaning, guys. Shout out Do Hanks. What it do? Wise choice, teaching the young ones, or at least exposing them. They need to learn about money. That's one thing they will not learn in the school system, is the true nature of money and how it's printed out of thin air. Right? They don't learn that stuff. So we must teach our seeds, because our seeds are the future, family. What's the second best Bitcoin pod? There is no second best. There's a Bitcoin pod called Crypto News Alerts. Just my 10 cents. Shout out, Steve. Nothing in a straight line. That's right. He's talking about Nikola Tesla's energy device. There we go. Free energy all the way. Tap into it. The earth is abundant in energy. There's something called ley lines. You can research this on your own, but there's an abundance of energy that can be tapped into 100% for free. We don't need to be paying these oil companies or energy companies. That's how they keep us suppressed, right? There's no second best. JV is a popular guy. Switch here for the news. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. And Satoshi, we trust. How'd you find your hat? I opened up the closet last night. It was sitting right there in my closet, on the stand in the closet where my drawers are, because I needed a screwdriver to put my vertical stand on the new PlayStation 5. And I'm just like, and it was in the dark. It didn't even have the lights on. And I just saw the big white bee. I'm like, you're shitting me. You're shitting me. It was right there. Hidden in plain sight, family. Balls like church bells. Fiat, fix it again, Tony. These cookies are addictive. I can't stop eating them. That's what's up, Bone Daddy. Enjoy. Smash the likes, pump the stream. I feel like it's Groundhog Day every day. 100% with you. My miners are getting destroyed because now people can just buy the ETFs. Damn. I just bought $37.50 of Bitcoin. Congratulations. The amount is irrelevant. The fact is you're buying the dip. Cheers. My free energy is not over unity. It is just energy you can't charge for. Cheers. One of the titles to Jay's movies last week was Bitcoin to $1 million in 24 hours. Close, but I think it was Samson Mouse saying, quoting him, it was like, Bitcoin will reach 1 million within days to weeks, because that's what he said. You know what I mean? Let's take out the clowns. There we go. Let's go. But anyways, family, now for our feature story of the day, let's discuss the latest from Cathie Wood. She announced that she has 25% of her wealth in the King crypto, Bitcoin. And she also says that Bitcoin is more likely to hit her $1.5 million bullish target by the year 2030. So here is the latest. And shout out to Cathie Wood. Pump the likes to pump the stream. Long live Cathie. So here you go. The headline here reads, why Cathie Wood placed 25% of her wealth in Bitcoin, a bold bet unveiled. Also another headline, Bitcoin to 1.5 million. Ark Invest Cathie Wood makes epic Bitcoin price prediction. And she was also in a headline here. Cathie Wood sees the Bitcoin price reaching 1.5 million by 2030 after the ETF approval. Let's start right here. Cathie Wood, the founder and CEO of Ark Invest, has made several appearances across the mainstream media to discuss the first U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF. The asset manager and Wood herself have been long-term supporters of cryptocurrency. That's right, she's an early investor. So in the interview with the Schwab network, the asset manager revealed how much of her net worth had been allocated into Bitcoin. Wood said around 25% of her net worth was converted into Bitcoin. Now, personally, I think of this number as like such a rookie number. Why wouldn't you have 75 or 80%? But also consider she's extremely wealthy. She has mass amount of money, and who knows what other types of investments she has. So I think it's pretty cool of her to come out and say it, that her net worth in Bitcoin is 25%. I've also heard Ricardo Salinas, the third richest amigo in Mexico, say that the majority of his portfolio, of his wealth, was in Bitcoin. So I think Ricardo is even more bullish than Cathie. But anyways, however, the asset manager founder clarified that this estimation is a rough guess, meaning more or less of this percentage could be Bitcoin. More specifically, Wood stated, so who knows? Maybe she's really 50%. She just threw some number out there. Who knows? Quoting her here, my financial network, pretty much all of it is in innovation. Let's put it that way. It's just my degree of confidence in the depth of our research that gives me the courage, people might say, to be more aggressive in this realm. Now, while Wood only disclosed her Bitcoin holdings, the interviews hinted at the Ark CEO holding other digital assets, and Wood added, either in our kind of funds, private funds, or crypto, primarily Bitcoin. So what other crypto is the question is Cathie Wood holding? If you were to guess, let me know your thoughts in the comments, family. Now, since its approval the other day, the Bitcoin ETFs recorded billions of dollars in trading volume. We've already touched upon this. One of the asset managers include Ark 21 Shares, which is Cathie Wood's company. And I like to point out that she has amongst the lowest fees in comparison to the other ETFs, and the highest is going to be Grayscale with roughly 1.5%. That's why a lot of people are selling out of GBTC to put it in one of the ETFs with the lower fees, because nobody wants to pay 1.5% per year. Now, also, let's discuss her predictions now. So here we go. When Ark Invest Cathie Wood speaks, the investors usually listen, especially the broskies, with more caution. With a reputation for forward-thinking investment strategies, Wood has set the bar high, positing a base case for Bitcoin at $600,000 per coin. That's her base case, family. I think it's like $670,000 to be more precise. And the bull case reaching an eye-watering, now $1.5 million by 2030. A while back, she made the prediction years ago she was anticipating $1 million by 2030. Well, they upped that number now to $1.5 million, especially off the back of these ETFs being approved. This prediction comes amid the surge of activity of the market, amplified by the launch of the Bitcoin ETF. As we mentioned, the making staggering record-breaking numbers. I think within the first day, they did 4.3 billion in volume. So what are your thoughts surrounding her 1 million and 1.5 million price prediction? Let me know. Do you think Bitcoin could reach 1.5 million by the year 2030. How many years out is that? 6. When's the next halving? 3 months. Then we're going to have another halving in 2028. So she's ultimately saying 2 years after the following halving, not this one this year, but the following halving in 2028, she's anticipating that 1.5 million Bitcoin price. She also is quoted saying, we think the probability of the bull case has increased with the SEC approval. So this is the green light. According to Cathie Wood, which she shared on CNBC the other week. The Ark Invest CEO also said the base case would see the price rise $258,000 and the base case of $682,000. Not too shabby for a base case. Ark backed up the previous 1 million price prediction, pointing to the higher hash rate, which is true, and the longer-term hodler supply and the addresses with a non-zero balance compared to the prior downturns. The SEC's approval of the spot ETFs had likely added to the bullish thesis. So there you have it, my crypto fam. What are your thoughts on Cathie Wood allocating roughly 25% of her wealth into Bitcoin? And what are your thoughts surrounding her base case at roughly 680,000 and her bull case now at 1.5 million per coin? And what do you feel the likelihood is of us actually hitting 1 million to a 1.5 million price action by the year 2030? If you think this will turn into fruition and come true, us hitting at least 1 million by the year 2030, put a 1 in the live chat. If you think there's just no way possible, it's not happening, you don't anticipate it, you don't expect it, put a 2. If you think less than 1 million by the year 2030, I want to see the consensus here in the chat as we enter our live Q&A. I'll sell my JJ Jose. What's a JI? Oh, J.I. Joe's to buy some more Bitcoin. Y'all remember the video where Logan Paul spent millions of dollars on this rare Pokemon box set, and then he unboxes them and they're G.I. Joes, and he got robbed? Got ripped off ultimately. I thought that was funny when you mentioned G.I. Joes. Frank, I agree. However, it is not crazy to take 1,000 and put in 100 of the alts. One, I'll be dead by then. Don't say that, Bob. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Dirty with a 2. Lou with a 1. Sean with a 2. T with a 2. Cairo with a 1. Dirty with a 2. Come on, you guys got to be more hopeful than that. You don't think we can do 1 million by 2030? Samson Mouse says 1 million this year. Let that sink in. 2, evil forces are at work. 2, 1, but I think it'll mean bad things happen. Man, I feel you, dog. I hate Jake Paul. I wasn't referring to Jake Paul. I was referring to Logan Paul, FYI. There's a difference in the broskies. Damn it. I mean G.I. Joes. I am aware we need to buy more Bitcoin. That is number 1. Robert put a 2. Yeah, so for clarification, Logan Paul is the guy who screwed everyone over with CryptoZoo and a dozen other fraudulent crypto projects. So no one likes Logan, FYI. Jake gets more respect because, you know, he's establishing himself as a boxer, and he's actually doing pretty good in the world of boxing for considering he was a YouTuber, right? So I have more respect, of course, for Jake than Logan. So, and they both live on the island here, so yeah. 2, Caspa, William 1, Frank 1, Jeremy 1, John 1, Anonymous 1, Jake Paul Jones, Frank True. I now have 1.5 and buy every day. 1 million by 2030 conservative. I think so, Nuck. What do you think, broski? The sun is the most important source of energy for Bitcoin. There you go. Infinite energy coming from the sun as well, family. How is Logan not in jail? I think he sold his soul. I mean, that's according to Tate. Anyone follow Andrew Tate? Remember when Tate was making the rounds and was the most Googled person in all popularity in the world? And then guess who was fudding Tate and claiming if people follow this guy, we're setting back humanity? You know what I mean? Making up all this FUD. So I believe Logan sold his soul. Hence why he's in wrestling now and he gets all that exposure. He has Prime and all of these things. So I think they allow their people to get away with these types of crimes. Just like Bankman-Fried just recently got 6 of the 7 charges dropped against him. Can't make the ish up. But hey, that's just a theory. I don't know the difference. I was thinking of Logan. Yeah, difference. Broskies. I'll even take 500K by 2030. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, whatever it is, it's going to be. If it's 100,000 by 2030, we'll still be celebrating, family. Don't get it twisted. But keep in mind, we could just as easily be at 10 million by 2030. There's no telling what will happen to the US dollar. According to some, by 2030, we'll own nothing and be happy. You're talking about the World Economic Forum. Yeah, my sons will get it. There you go. I'm not a climate alarmist, but solar and wind are wasteful. Nuclear is where it's at. With the value of the dollar dissolving and the Bitcoin price easily be $1 million with these, I think so. Take your taxes to Puerto Rico and how you don't make a single cent for the island now that you're talking about crimes. Whatever, dog. I mean, here's the real deal. I haven't taken advantage of, like, I don't sell my crypto. So therefore, living on this island hasn't benefited me in taxes. So that's first and foremost. So eat that. And number 2, I not invest, but I donate money every year to charities. So I would look at it as valuable to this country because I bring, you know what I mean? I talk about Bitcoin. I talk about Puerto Rico all the time. So more people are likely to move here to support the island. But hey, some people are going to look at me as an enemy, like, oh, you moved to Puerto Rico to save on the taxes. Oh, you're the problem. I don't think so. I'm just taking advantage of my own rights. Your government made a law that people can live here and reduce their taxes and tax liabilities, and I follow that and take advantage of it, right? So I can have more for my family, and you want to point me as the enemy. I mean, so be it. Look in the mirror. Right? I bet you I still pay more in taxes than most people on the island, and I still donate more money than most people on the island. So if I'm doing good for this island and I'm helping support it, you know what I mean? And I'm a proponent for the island, and I ban people for talking crap about Puerto Rico like I did the other day, and I rarely ban people, but he said some very slimy things about Puerto Rico. Block, right? So you'd think you'd have some level of respect for JV, but to each their own, family. What does that say? Dead dollar, good for Bitcoin. You're doing the right thing, sir. Cheers, Tony. Cheers, Barek. Appreciate that. 10-week down to ish bankers. There you go. Oh, 10,000. 10,000. Word. We're at 40,800 right now. Will 40,000 hold, family? We're going to break below 40. Let me know your thoughts. JV is a role model. It can be done. Look at George building his house. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous because I saw his indoor basketball hoop, and I'm just like, oh my God, he got an indoor basketball court. That's on my bucket list. You do it right, man. Thank you, John. One sooner. But I will take that back, actually, because there's two tax advantages on the island. One is zero capital gains tax for selling Bitcoin. I'm not selling Bitcoin, so regardless, I don't take advantage of that, even though I'm qualified to do so. I'd rather still just hodl. But the other thing I take advantage of, which is my right to do so, is I don't pay federal income taxes. Instead, I pay 4% local corporate tax to the people on the island. So, yeah. So I do save in taxes for my business. So I just wanted to be straight with that. But I'm not taking advantage of the crypto thing because I don't sell my crypto. You know what I mean? I'm a long-term hodler. So I just want to clear that up. But I much rather pay 4% local corporate tax than 30% to the federal government. And that's my right to do so. You know what I mean? Don't let these trolls bend you out of shape. They're all wannabes. I will let the haters hate if they let the players play. There you go. Keep bringing us the good, JV. Haters are going to hate. JV haters are going to hate. It is wrong to think that JV doesn't pay bills, pay food, or pay other things. This dip is the primer for the next run up. JV is badass. He is used to the haters. Yeah, I've been doing this online thing since 2011-ish. So this is not new to me, family. I welcome the trolls. Bring it on. Bought 2 Bitcoin. Nice. Congratulations, William. You just got to hodl until you're back in profit. You don't lose what you don't sell. I think some people get mad because they have to pay, hypothetically, 35% taxes at the end of the year. That's, I used to do that too. I lived in Florida. You got to follow the laws. But if you could take advantage of something and make it a win-win, I mean, why wouldn't you? I'd rather less money go to the federal government, which they're going to use for war, to impoverish other countries, and I'd rather do something good on the island, which I'm able to do, you know what I mean? And do something great for my family, which I'm able to do. So to me, it's a win-win. And that's why their government here put that in place, is to attract money to the island, because the island is suffering and everyone's leaving the island, especially after the big hurricane from years ago, and going to the mainland. So they came up with the strategy, well, let's incentivize Americans to come to the island and let's attract money to the island. It's going to maybe spark some growth, you know what I mean? So it's a win-win. Tell them, JV, how much property tax is there? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think there's property tax on your primary residence. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, but I don't think there is. You're good stuff, man. Love the content. Low taxes and fantastic. I mean, preach. Because my biggest struggle living in Florida was whatever I created at the end of the year would all just go in taxes. So anything I would save, I'd have to send to the government and pay taxes, and I could never get ahead. So I'm like, Puerto Rico, 4% taxes, which ultimately means for every 100,000 of net gain, you're responsible for paying $4,000. Whereas in Florida, for every $100,000 gain, you got to pay $35,000, which is a third of your income. So a third of your income going to taxes. You know what I mean? So is what it is. I have to look into Puerto Rico. New York is, oh man, you don't even got to tell me. I know all about the crazy taxes in New York because I'm from New York. The tax-related crybaby should be advocating for no tax income of any kind. There are many other taxes and tariffs and ways to make money. For one, empty politicians' pockets. Good point, JB. I agree with you there, broski. Layer 2 Bitcoin is going to be lit. Exactly. So here's my sentiment. I think it's a beautiful thing if people pay less taxes because the government can print infinite money. If you understand the corruption of the governments, you wouldn't be so concerned about other people paying more in taxes. It's called jealousy and envy, right? That's what it is. I've never paid taxes a day in my life, says Jeffrey. Wow. Taxation is theft, according to McAfee. Rest in peace. Cathie was hot, says Jonas. Theft, says Raven. Time to start talking up the halving. Amen. We're going to be talking a lot about the halving. GG and his handlers will do whatever they can to keep the fiat legacy, but we see the Bitcoin. Casey, theft. You got that right. Tax in the UK is a disgrace, given the poor used for the tax money. Put all your assets in a private trust. There you go, JK. Smart man. A fellow Hive blockchain user moved to Puerto Rico. Cheers, Silver. They have to burn dollars somehow, though. Tax. JV, have you heard of the... Oh, Suriname. Yeah, the country that's going to be adopting Bitcoin. Correct. I have heard of that place. It's a country just north of Brazil in South America, population of 750,000, and they're looking to take 1% of their central bank reserves and put it into Bitcoin. Shout out to Suriname. Cathie is still hot, says Steve. Income tax is unconstitutional. Tell them. Tax parasites. Get them. Inflation is also a tax. Truth. Hey, what up, JK? Come to Portugal. It's the best, great, and no crypto taxes. Beautiful country. JV, I hope you don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. It just, you know what I mean? I happen to read a comment out loud that's like, I think it's messed up. So just expressing my thoughts and my side of things. Because some people will look at it that way and say, oh, JV is just trying to rape the island and not pay the taxes. And that's obviously not my intention. I actually give back to the community. I do a lot here, and I'm proud of that. So it is what it is. I live in Brooklyn, New York City. It is abusive what the politicians are doing here. Preach. Dubai has 0% income tax. Wow. Guess where a lot of the wealthy people reside? Dubai. But I don't think it's that easy for an American. There's no way to escape the IRS. You know what I mean? So I don't think it works that way for Americans, but I think for people in other countries, you can relocate to Dubai and have zero taxes. Not for Americans, from my understanding. JV, did you listen to Argentina's prime minister's speech at the World Economic Forum? It's well worth it. I saw a weird post by Elon Musk this morning where it was like having sex with a girl and instead he was on a laptop watching Javier Milei. To me, that's a little sus. I don't know why. You know what I mean, I don't know. I did read you. Actually, I didn't watch the whole interview, but I read David Icke's feedback after watching the 23-minute interview. And we covered that yesterday in the show. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Milei is a plant? Controlled opposition? One of the same? Or do you think he is genuine and he got invited to the World Economic Forum? What are your thoughts? ETH has the most ridiculous fees. This is true, Raven. JB, do you know of any of the benefits applied to the Europeans? It's a good question. My thinking is if you relocated here, made this your primary residence, I don't know if you need a visa. I don't know how it works with Europeans, but for Americans, it don't even require a visa or a passport because it's a territory of the United States. So you can just have an ID, hop on a plane, head to Puerto Rico, easy peasy. So you may have to check with your local, whatever country you're in and make sure it's all kosher because I don't know for sure. But I do think other people in other countries can also take advantage of it because I've met people from other countries who are also Act 60 taking advantage of it. But I don't know the procedure if you live in a different country. If you have no problem paying taxes, you are a fool. Phil C. renounce the American citizenship to pay no tax. Well, there you go. You'd have to, you're talking about Dubai. Maybe that makes sense, denying renouncing your American citizenship. See, with Puerto Rico, I didn't have to renounce any citizenship or change any citizenship. So it was just easy peasy. It's a much easier process. Suriname is the old Dutch colony, but it is so poor. Well, I hope they do adopt Bitcoin this year. JV, that's BS. You contribute to your community. You purchase a house. You spend money there. You're not on welfare. You don't steal. You don't do drugs. Deal drugs. There's much of that in Puerto Rico. Preach. Well said, family. I do contribute to the island. That's a fact. I do things above and beyond that I have to just because I genuinely want to. And that is true. I think some people who are locals here get mad because instead of blaming inflation and money printing, they blame people like me for moving on the island, and they claim that's why inflation is so high. They'll be like, the property values of Puerto Rico are up 300% in the past few years because of you guys moving to the island. It's not because of me moving to the island. It's because governments are corrupt, and they'll continue to print money and blame it on everything else except printing money. It's called inflation, and it's not just a rare phenomena in Puerto Rico. It's a worldwide phenomena. You know what I mean? It's just reality. There is no second best. Malay is in a deliberate plan. I really like him. The spores of life always find a way to express. Thanks for your feedback, Fox. Puerto Rico is part of the country. Exactly. It's a territory of the United States of America. Be a private contractor, not an employee. That's what I preach as well. If you're not happy with your financial situation, start a business. Stop being an employer, right? And you can create unlimited amounts of money dependent upon your skill set. And that's the beauty. That's why I love doing what I do. You know what I mean? You can't cap it and say, JV is only worth $10 an hour because that's what the society says. JV says, I'm worth infinite, as much talent and energy I'm willing to put into the podcast and stay consistent over the past 6 years. I'm going to keep growing my income based upon the energy, the effort, and you know what I mean? How many other people that we touch. And it's true. The more people we touch, the more people listen to the podcast, the more successful JB becomes. This is the nature of being an entrepreneur versus an employee. A lot of funny voice time this pod. But anyways, family, we've been streaming now an hour and a half. So what we're going to do is continue with the uncensored version of the pod so I can tell you mofos how I really feel. And that's exclusive on Rumble. If you're new, don't forget to pump the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. But we're going to continue exclusively on Rumble so JV can rant and do his thing. It's usually about 30 minutes extra we'll spend there on Rumble. So head on over to Rumble right now and let's get this party started. Uncensored, shall we? Deuces YouTube. I'll be back 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. See you soon. Peace.